Russian writer, Ivan Krylov. So two dogs, Brownie and Big Red, had just finished eating, and they decided to lay down in the shade and take a nap. "I have no finer friend than you," Brownie said to his companion. "How fortunate I am to be able to run around and play and sleep with someone like you." "I agree," Red Dog said, as he scratched himself. "Others argue and fight, but you and I, we're content just to have each other." And the two continued to speak of the joys of their friendship until a cook opened the back door and threw one bone onto the grass. And the two friends leaped to their feet, raced to the bone, each claiming a fragment and fighting until the bone broke apart and the dogs grew tired. So how susceptible we are to deluding and deceiving ourselves about how everything is. And then how often those illusions are shattered. How often our reality is obliterated by stark truth. That's what idolatry is all about. Giving ultimate devotion to something that we have created, giving it power over our lives, and then being stunned when reality crashes in. We see it every day. We see people devoting time and energy and life and lots of money to things that never live up to what's expected. People worshiping idols of their own making that cannot possibly deliver what we expect. And sadly, we often see the creating and worshiping of idols in the church, in the realm of religion. Maybe religion is even hyper-susceptible to idolatry. And manifestation of idolatry may be most heinous when it's in the church. Richard Holloway has observed, establishment, ministry, ecclesiastical structures, theological methods are all temporary instruments that inevitably reach their use-by date. If we cling to them beyond that, they become idols. There are a lot of expired beliefs pervading the church today. It's no wonder church participation is plummeting. The making of idols, we do it all the time. And what is an idol? In the contemporary reading, we heard reference to William Stringfellow's description of idols as imposters of God. All the time we make things into our God, into matters of ultimate concern for us. We make things of central importance that are not worthy of that power. It's a sad situation when people deify their own interests, seemingly obliviously. Like the explanation of Aaron in the story of the golden calf, this happens later after the part we heard. Aaron is called upon to justify and explain himself before God and Moses. And he says, "So I said to them, whoever has gold, take it off. So they gave it to me, and I threw it into the fire, and out came this calf." Doesn't that sound like so many people in our context? What was I supposed to do? Not my fault. When we were on the Camino de Santiago last year, we met a wonderful man from Germany named Klaus. He was a physics professor at Heidelberg University in Germany. And Klaus did an extraordinary good deed for Jeff, who was forever in his debt, and cemented our friendship. One day as we were talking with Klaus, he said, "Can I ask you a question about the US government?" He wasn't the first one over there to ask us about the US government. Okay. He went on, "This is something we don't understand in Europe. In Europe, every so often, each country makes a new form of government. Things change, so we need to change how the government works. But in the US, you're using a system of government over 200 years old. Why don't you change your government? After reading today's story, I might have answered Klaus and said, idolatry. That's why we don't change our government. Well, in thinking about our pervasive, rampant proclivity for idolatry in so many spheres of life, I want to ask you, where do you see idolatry happening in today's world? And this past week could offer some good examples. So I'm going to ask Kate to stop taping.